Hello everyone!
Hello everyone!
Everyone is welcome to our water talk.
It should be coffee talk, but apparently it's water talk because we're always drinking water.
Yes.
It's Thursday. Today, is it the 7th?
Yes.
May 7th.
Yes.
This is my birthday month for anybody that's extremely curious about my fabulous birthday.
Yes. And today we want to share with you all about where from sickness.
Where does sickness come from? Why do we get sick? And we're not talking about the flu or a cold. We're talking about things that are a little bit more serious.
Chronic
it can be
disease.
Chronic. It can be nearly chronic. So why do we get sick, and what can we do to help ourselves get healthier and stronger? And it's an interesting topic. I'll invite you all, please, to share. Is there any particular struggle that you're going through? Nothing, you don't need to share anything particularly personal, but let us know in the comments if you're happy to share. What are you currently struggling with in terms of health? I will go first. So this was about maybe 2 months ago. We were going through quite a stressful situation. The two of us actually, with an environmental situation, let's say, and the way that it was affecting me was that I was getting psoriasis on my belly. And actually the interesting thing about that is that it was literally stress and how I was reacting to my environment and how I was reacting to stresses. And it's an interesting lesson, really, that you can be as fit as a fiddle, but then something comes along and you just don't know how to kind of digest that situation or how to manage it, where you kind of internalize and then you suddenly start having all of these health issues and you're like, oh my goodness, can you believe that there's that close link of mind-body connection where stress actually brings out particular manifestations of conditions. In my case it was psoriasis. So it's interesting, isn't it?
Yes. Well, I have a question, everybody. Tell us about what do you know about where from the sickness?
This is an interesting topic because for the longest time, and I mean decades, I thought that cancer was genetic, that if your grandmother had it, if your mother has it, if your aunties have it, that you're more likely to get cancer. And I thought the same thing about dementia and Alzheimer's. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, from my maternal side of the family, it seemed like everybody seems to be getting Alzheimer's or dementia. I was like, oh my goodness, how do I not get that? And it wasn't until many years later that I realized that this is more of an environmental factor rather than something that's genetic or DNA. Of course there are things that are genetic.
Yes. Before more or less 1950, the medical biologic science believing in them research, the genetic is all of things about sickness, but now we know about it's depend healthy habits, food, doing activity in outside, good rest and mental balance, feeling balance. Because when my love, it says before and this comment, the mind is connecting with our physiology, and our physiology is connecting with our mind. But it's not only mind, is a different sense, a different emotions. This emotion, it can be
The manifestation.
it can be healing, or it can be sickness.
It's interesting because there's a lot of work, for example, by and therapists that talk to this are therapist Marissa Peer. She worked with Lady Diana a long time ago, and also therapist Mate Gabor, and both of them talk about the importance of managing our thoughts to help have a healthy body, and how important that connection is, and how oftentimes we undervalue just how important it is in terms of how we manage stress, our reaction to stress, and what's happening around us, and how we internalize it. Because Dr. Gabor Mate, for example, he was talking about a study where many women were developing cancer that were in their 50s and even younger. And it turns out that when these women were studied, that they were internalizing a lot of stress. They were unhappy about a lot of events that were happening, but rather than communicate and finding an outlet for what was feeling, what was the emotion of frustration and anger, they were internalizing it. And what was happening is that they were developing chronic diseases, including cancer. And there was enough of this happening. It was prevalent enough for there to be a study specifically to consider this particular group of women that were developing chronic diseases in response to the fact they were simply being really quiet and putting everybody else first, taking care of their husband, their children, everybody else around them, but neglecting themselves and putting everybody else first, and how that manifested as chronic disease. And some of these women were passing away, and it was just incredible just to see that it was so impactful. So the connection between that, there absolutely is a connection between what we think and how our health is, whether it's really, really good, or potentially whether we get really sick.
Well, for example, a few days ago, we were experiencing different challenges about our home, because now actually we share the apartment, and well, it's a situation, challenging situation, but yesterday and 2 days ago, more or less, we decide focus in our goal. Is more easy suggestion or coaching others people or others person, but right now we are coaching to ourselves. Well, anybody escape the different challenges situations, and the lesson is open mind, and to know nothing is always.
I don't understand.
Nothing is permanent.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Everything's always in a state of flux.
Yes.
Actor Matthew McConaughey, his book Red Lights, his autobiography, is really good for that. Not red lights, it's actually green lights. And he talks about how life is basically like a mountain or a roller coaster, and that sometimes you have the green light and sometimes you have the red light, and you need to go when you got the green light, and there are going to be red lights, and there, you know, nobody escapes from challenges and from tragedies, and you know, life is challenging. You know, there's beautiful moments and there's difficult moments, and how we react to them essentially is the future that we create. And yeah, it's interesting, and obviously this is a part of that is our health. And another thing that I wanted to mention is, for example, sometimes in terms of red lights and sudden, like, you know, one thing that tends to affect us is accidents. And so, for example, sometimes sickness or disease, or let's just say a really, really inconvenient health condition can be related to, for example, a sports injury. You love to go skiing and you have an accident, and then all of a sudden you find that you cannot move in the same way that you previously did. Or it's something completely unexpected, for example, that you never predicted would happen, like a car accident. You know, sometimes you find yourself in a position where health-wise something happened, and you're just like, oh my goodness, you know, now what do I do? You know, so sickness and illnesses and injuries, you know, they come from different places, you know, from our thoughts. And another thing that I also wanted to point out is toxins. You know,
Yes.
This is an interesting topic, isn't it?
Yes, and we talked about this topic in the inflammatory, or I don't
Previous live
remember.
stream,
Yes,
on inflammation.
yes,
Yeah.
but is good routines, because, for example, when we cleaning the bathroom, for example, we use vinegar from
Apple cider.
apple cider, yes, and is very good for
Mold.
mold,
Fungus.
and different things, and it's not toxic to us, because almost of the sink respect to cleaning is a very hard and intoxicating.
Okay, it could be like a form of poison, really, or toxins.
Yes, yes.
So, yeah, and a lot of it is found in cleaning
thank you,
products.
my love,
chemical.
for support me.
Yes, this supports me a lot in the Spanish live streams. We record in Spanish every Tuesday. We actually plan out our English live stream, but we do it live in Spanish.
Yes.
And so, if you'd love to join our Spanish live stream, join us on Tuesdays. And you know, just comment Spanish, and we'll send you the link to make sure that you can join our live in Spanish.
Yes, very, very, very interesting.
Tell us more about toxins, though, my love, because toxins is a huge cause of illness, particularly respiratory issues, fungus, mold.
Yes, and different things. For example, our phone, our
You mean 5G, Wi-Fi?
5G, soap and shampoo and different
beauty products, self-care.
yes, and creams and smoking, alcohol, perfume.
even things that are related to dental stuff, like stuff that you forget about, but it's important to know. For example, using an electric toothbrush, the mold that can get stuck in the area where the head is, and that you're exposing yourself to that mold because it typically tends to get wet up inside the neck of the electric toothbrush. And things like Listerine, like using mouthwash.
Yes.
That has actually been connected with cancer. And you know, you see that people are using these regularly, and information that has come out about those products has been broadcast, and still many people are just not aware that these are the things that, compounding when you're using them week after week and year after year, these toxins are remaining in your body, and they're not finding a way to come out where you can actually begin to remove these poisons from your from your body and help give your body a chance to get back into balance.
Yes, you know, one thing I thinking about is a situation when we are, for example, in our routines, and sometimes we are eat bread, for example, and normally we are eating a lot meat, a lot fat origin animals,
Animal fats, yeah.
animal fats, yes, and but sometimes minimum, for example, we are taking
Carbohydrates.
Carbohydrates.
Which are not good.
Yes, but normally the people every day, every time is consuming carbohydrates, and then habits do not support themselves, health.
Their health.
Yes.
It's interesting actually, and this is something Jesus and I were chatting about, is that you can be doing something that's very naughty. Like you can be eating your bread with a big plate of pasta, okay, and basically be breaking all the rules. You think that you're eating healthy, it's homemade. But what you're doing is you're filling your body with sugar because it's all carbohydrates. Bread and a plate of pasta is all carbohydrates. But you pair that together with feeling happy and feeling comfortable and feeling in peace, okay, not stress. And suddenly your digestion is okay. It's really interesting because you can sometimes get away with some bad habits because you're balancing it out with something else that's good. And so it's very interesting that we can sometimes break rules when it comes to health, but as long as we're balancing it out, at least to some degree, perhaps with really good sleep, or that you just feel like you're in a really supportive environment, all of these little things add up to help balance out some of the naughty things that we're doing. And that's really interesting, isn't it?
Yes, and I completely agree, my love, with your sentence. It's compounding. It's habits, it's a structure. Sometimes you go out, but consistency in the routine. The routine is the key for achieve our goals. It's simple.
And before we talk about some of the, I was just nearly about to sneeze. Before we talk about some of the things that can be really helpful to help us get our health back on track, I wanted to mention that there was a study done where 2 identical twins were taken, and it's funny because they were studied. I think at around the age of 50 or 60, and you could see how these 2 identical twins were so different. Like one looked a lot younger than the other, and it went on to show just how little genetics really played a factor in how fast we age, and how important it was actually to maintain good habits, healthy habits, and the difference that it makes to the quality of life and even to your physical appearance when you're much older, you know, when you're getting into your 50s, when you're in your 60s and so forth. So it goes to show that our daily habits and what we do really is key to making sure that we age in a healthy way. And if you're over 40 and you're watching this, you know, this is for you. You know, making sure that we're consistently doing things to help ourselves get healthier is really important. So, my love, can we talk about some of the things that we can do to increase our health, to not be sick, and maybe start with, for example, if somebody's had an accident, typically, you know, somebody no longer has the mobility that they had before. Where would you begin in terms of health? What would you recommend?
Well, I want to share with everyone about the person or people around us, because our circle is very important, because the people or person, friends, family, and socios,
The
partners,
colleagues.
and different things, wife, husband, many times can be sickness or or healthy for us, to us. I want my love say to us, what is your test for improve or value the good things to know about is sickness or healthy to us.
So Jesus is referring to the test to figure out whether people in our social circle are actually healthy for us or not. And this is one thing that Mel Robbins talks about in her book, the Let Them Theory. Actually, no, it's not in the Let Them Theory. It was one of her earlier. I think it's mentioned in one of her earlier books. But essentially, the concept where if you feel drained, if you feel negative, and if you feel like, oh my goodness, you feel stressed after hanging out with a friend, that's an indication that that person does not build you up. That person possibly just uses you to vent. And if you decide to continue that friendship with that person, be aware that every time you hang out with them, you might walk away feeling like, I'm not going to swear on this live stream, but essentially the top 5 people that you surround yourself with become, to some degree, your identity. They become the person that you are because you're influenced indirectly and directly by these people. So if you have people that complain and that are extremely negative, pessimistic, or, you know, their outlook on life is just not supportive whatsoever, if you choose to continue hanging out with that person, you very well may take their attitude, and it also affects your health. So,
and in the other case, for example, if the people you feel happiness, you feel wellness,
yeah,
what do you think about?
When you walk away from hanging out with a friend and you feel built up and you feel energized and invigorated and you're just like, yes, and you know, that person encourages you to go for your goals and that person helps you feel like you're valuable. Oh my goodness, it's like the opposite feeling of what you get when you're with negative people. And you can really identify, oh my goodness, I need to spend more time with that person. That person is good for me. They help to nourish me, even though we are responsible for nourishing ourselves. I'm talking about our souls, for becoming better people and becoming more valuable people that contribute to the environment and the people within our community. That ultimately other people can suck and take away from you, and other people can add to you and help build you up. So being aware that this is a really important factor in helping to stay healthy, because our mental health affects our physical health.
Yes, totally agree. My love, what do you think if we are talking about our methods Yes.
Yes, I'm happy to talk about our method. Some of the things actually that we include in our method, for example, are the stem cell activation, which is incredible for people. One of the things I was going to mention for people that have suffered injuries, Jesus was just showing the stem cell activation right here.
Yes.
It's a biomodulation, so it's a type of
biomodulation.
A type of technology that you stick on to really increase your health in so many different ways. And Jesus and I, you hear us talk about it all the time, but it's absolutely something that we're going to include, or we are including in our method, which we're going to be producing very soon. And we're taking a wait list currently for people that want to train with us. So comment wait list in the comments below if you'd like to train with us. We're going to be releasing a couple of packs initially.
Yes.
And do you want to tell maybe what both packs focus on?
One pack is for people more specific, active in the physical exercise, and the other one is for people not with good health, but is preparing, for example, for the other one. And our method,
so looking for healing, people looking for healing, they have a health challenge or 2 or 10, and they want to focus on getting their body back into balance before they start doing anything like weight training, for example.
Yes. And our method consists in 13 weeks and campaigning to us. Acompañamiento.
Working with us one-on-one or working with us in a group.
Yes.
Yeah.
And well, we are very happy with the launch very soon. And well,
we'd invite you to join our platform where we're going to be launching from. So if you would like assistance with healing or with weight training and gaining strength, those are the 2 packs that we're going to be launching with, and we'll invite you to comment waitlist in the comments below. And before we say goodbye, my love, are there maybe a couple more things that we could mention for tips for healing, tips and advice for getting out of sickness? If it's genetic, we highly, highly, highly recommend the light technology, the stem cell technology that we currently use and we have been using for 1.5 years.
Yes, presence. In this time, we need presence in myself, in yourself. Yes. Mm-hmm. Because the challenges or change are uncomfortable, but always we look the different answers. Yes. Is a good idea. Do not pay attention to external things. To be present.
And talking of things like meditation and visualization, these are techniques that people have actually used. Particularly, we were talking in our Spanish live stream about the work of Dr. Dispenza, for example, and also the work that was done by Japanese athletes in order to prepare for competitions. Was it volleyball or basketball?
Yes, the volleyball team of Japan. The trainer say to team. Down in the floor and close your eyes and to visualize the game, the situation of the game, and 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Everyone in the team, on the team, sweating, similar to situations of Qian normally, but in visualization, on visualization.
Visualization is used for many things. It's used by a lot of athletes to win competitions. It's also used by people to heal themselves, people that have gone through severe injuries, and any type of health condition, things that people didn't think were possible to do with your mind. It's incredible. It's something that you need to dig deeper into. Visualization. Look into the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he's not the only one. There's many people that speak to visualization. And another thing I would like to point out, which is somewhat-ish similar to the work that, or to the patches that we use with the biotag, is the work with energy. And I'm talking about things like Tai Chi, preventative type of movement, using breathing techniques, using rhythm, and using your strength, and the concept of moving energy to a rhythm, increasing your circulation and your muscle strength. But also, for example, things like traditional Chinese medicine that works with meridians and energy channels, and how all of our organs are connected to different channels, and things like also reflexology, for example, looking at the soles of your feet and how different points are connected with the different organs in our body. There's so many methods at looking at how to heal ourselves, how to improve our health, that go way beyond, I call it Rockefeller medicine, medicine that basically became popular over 100 years ago, that now today we consider a pharmaceutical, but there's so much more that's offered. But before I go on, and this is a topic that's really, really ample, look into Chinese medicine, look into things like Tai Chi, look into...
And holistic options.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's not only one answer. The answer is...
very wide.
Yes.
It's massive. There's a plethora of opportunities, and what we've talked about today is just touching, it's like the tip of the iceberg, that the conversation could go on forever. It's such a rich topic.
Well, my love, in resume, in
conclusion,
in conclusion, now we know about where from sickness is today, May 2026, depending of your routine. You decide if you are sickness or you are healthy.
Everyone, thank you so much for joining our live stream. What are we going to do now? Take a nap? Are we going to take a nap?
No.
Okay. I'm going with the flow.
We have
lots of things to do.
More things. Well, it's time to say goodbye, people.
Thank you for joining us. See you next Thursday, and we'll leave a link to last week's live stream. If you missed it, go back and watch it, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.